Hello and welcome back to FTW Philly. Today we take a deeper look into the ever-growing collegiate esports scene in Philadelphia. For decades, collegiate sports have provided a foundation for the professional level of competition. This is becoming a crucial part of the college experience for students. Aside from sports, student clubs and organizations are another key part of the college experience. These clubs provide opportunities for students to explore different ideas, develop interests, or simply socialize with each other. As these opportunities evolve, esports clubs are growing more popular. While collegiate esports programs may not be at every school, some Philadelphia universities have many students who are organizing their own practices and participating in tournaments across the country. Let's take a look in this first segment presented by Dietz and Watson.
We're all pretty close to each other. There's not too much of like a rivalry. That's until competitive matches start. Then we go head to head. The way I got into video games was when my parents first bought me a Game Boy. I played a lot of Pac-Man or like the little alien game where you just shoot them down.
We played the original Nintendo Mario, we played N64 Smash. My first console was a Nintendo 64 that somebody had thrown in the trash and my dad and I fixed it up.
I saw a notice on their website that said, hey, we have an esports tryout for Rocket League. So I went and showed up, and after that I was instantly hooked. Drexel's Esports Club has been around since at least 2012, and starting off it was just to play a couple of games with friends, but now it's grown into a real big experience and we have over 100 players that play competitively.
Temple's esports as an org is actually pretty old. We started in 2014. It was basically a League of Legends club, and the old group graduated, so the club died out for a year and was restarted when I was actually a freshman.
At Penn, you have all your studies and you're like recruiting and you're going to your jobs, work study. At the end of the day, everyone's just like, let's just play like a round or two of Overwatch, play some Smash. Penn has a group, it's just called UPenn Esports Association. Unfortunately, we take whoever we can get at this point. Fortunately, the people who are willing to play are high-ranked players.
It's tons of practice and dedication to being at that highest of levels. Competing level is more once or twice a week. However, we'll still play almost every day, just trying to get better as a team. I'm really working on what we need to compete, and that big prize pool is open, and it's going to be higher competition.
We basically practice online, just like with our own setups. Temple doesn't have an on-campus place to play. We don't have gaming PCs. We don't have something like Harrisburg's eSport facility. So we like coming down to TAP and Localhost because they provide like a space for us to game. There's like a whole new experience in playing in person with your teammates that you just don't get online.
This is an esports center. This is a center where you could drop by anytime and play your favorite computer games. We have 40 PCs you could use, and for the console players, we have Xbox, Nintendo, and PS.
It looks like a spaceship. That's the first thing people say. It looks like a spaceship. It's amazing in here. I even had a customer ask, can you design my house like this? I was like, yeah, we can do that, but...
We work with all the local universities. We work with UPenn, Drexel, Temple, Harrisburg University. A lot of facilities and colleges, they have to kind of be put together. Over here, the facility is already in place. All you have to do is just bring your best game, come on by, and you can play.
A lot of the local colleges, they don't provide a lot of funding to a lot of the esports clubs. So we're trying to work with the university to see if they can get some sort of funding, to bring their clubs to the next level.
Some college students, at least I know a lot of my teams, they're Figly, first generation low income. They don't have the resources outside of like what their scholarship provides or like what money they make for work study.
Our club is fully student run. We do our own tournaments and ways to make money so we can support our teams to go to tournaments. And one way we do that is by making like these jerseys. It's just like Temple Esports jerseys, which was all made by like club members as well. So it's like a really tight-knit community.
Esports is definitely a hard thing to fit into your schedule. Running a team can be anything from just setting up scrims to
Events coordinating.
Booking rooms weeks in advance.
Setting up the schedules.
We have a lot of marketing for the club.
Maybe next week we'll do a coaching session.
We have like a whole PR team.
We work through strategy,
Community building events.
synergy, timing.
So like at times it can get rough, especially like during midterms and finals. There's always time.
A lot of colleges are giving scholarships for esports players. Academia is realizing the power that esports has. It's huge because a lot of these players are very, very talented, but they may not have the right place or the right equipment to be able to play.
Temple has recently gained interest in esports as like a whole. The first thing I'd want is for maybe like a conversation to open up so we can help Temple understand what esports is, why it's so big, and basically why they should be funding it, really. I like them to see like how much our club has accomplished as just students running it, and from there I'd like them to understand what it means to basically support us like they support their other sports teams.
An esports funded program would be excellent because it recognizes that esports is an actual competitive scene. You know, baseball players have baseball facilities, they get bats, they get helmets, they get uniforms. And having a dedicated esports team means most likely you'll have better computers. You know, if your opponent is playing on a 144 hertz monitor and like having 300 frames per second and can like see pixels miles down the road and your screen is blurry and you're running at like 40, 50 frames, you're at a severe disadvantage just straight off the bat. I know a lot of my players are just kind of like losing the passion because they're like, look, we're losing because we don't have the support. And it just stings. Very unfortunate.
We have extra computers laying around that we'll use for LAN events, but besides that, it's more so you have your own desktop. We play at our dorms with our own setups, but that can create some like differences. Here at TAP Center, I mean, you have the whole setups right next to each other. It makes it great for communication, analyzing game together, and being more as a team.
Being able to play with your team, having like constant practices, like will build synergy, and I think we get like results similar to like what colleges with varsity esports programs would get as well. So Temple University has been having like these esports conferences, and I think it's a ground where they can have more connections in like the esports field, so maybe we can get an esports facility. They're trying their best to learn more about it, so I hope we see developments in esports at Temple soon.
Drexel's esports has been taking big strides and making it a more competitive scene and more official. So starting off, we were just a little club that we are pushed to the side and kind of told like you can do what you want, but now we're getting a lot of people backing us and we're getting close to being a club sport, and maybe down the line we'll even be varsity.
While many students are creating esports clubs as a way to provide outlets for gamers to compete within their own colleges, many of these schools have taken this one step further and have begun formally incorporating collegiate esports programs into the student experience. These programs have begun to take a similar shape to traditional sports programs, providing practice spaces, competition opportunities, and scholarships. This is creating avenues for students to grow and prosper as esports competitors at the collegiate level. Just 20 miles east of Philadelphia, Rowan University is among the colleges stepping into the esports scene.
This is a really exciting day for us at Nursery Gamers and for the Rowan University team.
Today's the Rowan Esports Extreme, so it's like our first big event. Rowan has never really done anything as big as this, so there's a lot of tournaments going on, and we're hoping to get a lot of people out to show support for esports on the campus.
Let's get the tournament started and crown some champions. Rowan has been a great partner and a visionary in taking the lead in the collegiate level. We've been really impressed by the leadership of the university and its willingness to take this leap with us.
In order for Rowan to provide the kind of infrastructure that the students of the 21st century would need, we need to get into this area fast. So we partnered with Nursery Gamers, and here we are. The students are here with enthusiasm. They're going to stay here whole day. And that tells me that clearly this is an area that in which we need to invest more.
You got these little ones right here, so you're gonna move around like this. This X right here is your go. That's really all you need. You just gotta drive at that point. We got one more lap. There's the finish line. Go, go, go. You're good, you got it. Hey, there you go. Good game.
Really, this is an area that encompasses everything. Arts and science and engineering and mathematics and coding, and that's the beauty of it.
It's the launch of a whole new era here at Rowan University. This is the future, and a lot of our students who are playing this, for them it is exactly a competitive situation. And the sort of excitement you hear is exactly what goes on in regular sports.
I think everyone has heard the news that Nursery Gamers is going to be building a Localhost facility here on Rowan Boulevard. The space is going to be absolutely beautiful. We're going to be putting 60 PCs, a production studio, multiple streaming booths, a console lounge. There's going to be a lot of activity that happens, and we're going to be looking to you as the students to just be there on a daily basis. It's one of the largest esports facilities that will exist in the country, and it's going to be the largest in the region.
Nerd Screen Gamers are partnering with us to build a permanent facility, a whole studio. Kids are going to come and play games in the evening, but during the day, Rowan faculty are going to use it as a classroom, and our faculty currently are working very, very fast to put together very advanced degree programs in the areas of gaming and coding so that we can have them offered very soon.
We will have studies on the whole culture and history and demographics and what's socio-cultural issues related to esports. We'll have courses in production, shoutcasting, esports reporting, in-game observing, social media, how you handle that. The person will study in this area, be interested in the subject matter, but these will transfer to any area.
Whether it be creating gaming situations for business training or gaming situations for medical school training, all of that is a small step away from what students are doing now and kids are doing in their bedrooms. The excitement about the Localhost is that it gives students an opportunity to really develop their skills. For us, it's a lab where kids will learn these different aspects.
This event is a great opportunity for the Rowan community to see the excitement around esports, to get to know all the competitors that are on campus, and to start to understand who the best players are in a lot of games that may make up an eventual varsity team.
What's very popular on college campuses today are your club athletic sports. So what we expect is to have a club sport where we're competing in the region, but then eventually turn into a more varsity sport where perhaps scholarships are given out and full-time coaches are hired, and it really takes it to that next level where the elite schools have those teams.
It's definitely going to make it a lot more serious, so a lot more like practice times and like more discipline. We were competing in a lot of different tournaments for different games. It's just that we would have people bring their laptops or like play from home. We never really had an area to play together, but with this addition of the local host down in downtown Glassboro, we can have our players kind of have an area to work and to practice and to hone in on their skills that they need for the competitive environment.
The biggest thing that we're looking to change is that mindset of relegating these students to playing in their own spaces and not really having a place to come play, but creating this community around esports and gaming to where we are not only supportive of them, but we are showing them that, hey, this is an official organized club on campus and we want you to come participate with our students and build that community around things that you love to do.
I think the exciting thing that I expect to see out of this is for Rowan to become just a tournament every weekend. Right? I expect Rowan to be the hub of collegiate esports.
I'm most excited about the ability to finally have a home for esports in an area that has an incredible number of competitors that are interested.
I think it's going to be big for casual gamers as well on campus that just want a place to stop in and maybe meet some new people that they didn't know, or students around campus that play these games and just get to know who they are.
We've built many local hosts that have been successful without a university involved, but we think that the model is incredibly accelerated and even more valuable when you tie in a university.
We are giving students all the communication skills and training and education that they would normally get, but this isn't a place where they have passion.
All of the educational opportunities that students gain outside of the competitive sphere will help them gain entry into a rapidly growing industry. And that's in terms of event management, it's in terms of marketing, it's in terms of supporting the teams, and the production and streaming side. So we'll be able to offer lots of internships as students who are interested in entering into the esports industry gain that experience firsthand.
The way that I see the future of gaming, it's not just a bunch of kids who sit behind the computer and have fun. To me, these are the kids who are going to run the future economy of this country.
I think the industry right now is still burgeoning, obviously, but it's developed enough where people can now understand, there really is a lot going on here. I'm excited about this because it's a new opportunity for us and a growth area in ways that 5 years ago nobody would have thought was possible.
The esports movement is growing larger and larger each day. Lebanon Valley College is at the forefront of investing in esports as a school-wide initiative. The school jumped into the esports scene in 2018 and has since created a varsity esports team playing a variety of games. This has created new opportunities and is further enhancing the student experience. Let's take a look at this next segment, brought to you by Lebanon Valley College.
The Lebanon Valley College esports team began just after Thanksgiving in 2017. It was a collaborative effort between athletics, our faculty, and the administration looking at possibly bringing on an esports program. And then in those conversations, we really focused in on a varsity esports program. We announced it on December 22nd, and by January, we were playing games. Part of the right decision of esports for us was capturing esports in a way at a varsity level, so treating it like any other athletic sport, working through the academic rigor that LVC has. We're a tough institution. Our classes are hard, and we wanted to make sure that we focus on our academics here, but we also have these incredible students who can play these games at extremely high level, and so we wanted to capture both of those things. And for us, bringing that on at an early stage was absolutely the right decision. We wanted to make sure that we could get out to the market as fast as possible and really focus on the ability to play before all the other schools were already in there. And so we wanted to be out in front of that.
I definitely knew going in that we might not have that instant success of we're a top contender right away, but knowing that, we're bringing in recruits, we're bringing in better players, we have this opportunity to get better and keep getting better, it definitely drew to me, and the fact that I could be on the first recruiting class to help push this program to the next level intrigued me.
When we first started, our coach gave us an Excel spreadsheet to fill out online of our name, what roles we like to play, what champions we like to play, so he could get a feel, and then he went from there and told us what role we were going to play, what we would expected to know, and he gave us things to work on, like learn this new champion, learn how to do this and this, and he'll go one-on-one with us and show us play by play. He'll play with us or against us.
The first teams I played on, we only stayed together for a month or two. Going from that to having this team that I'm with for semesters and maybe years gives a lot more opportunity for overall improvement.
Where we've done really well is actually with the parents. The parents in general who come in and see what we're doing here as we talk about our coaching, our practice, our mandatory tutoring and study halls for freshman students. We kick students out of our arena at a certain time of night if they're a freshman because we don't want them to stay too late. We're really proactive in a lot of the approaches around this varsity team. Parents very quickly understand that we're more than just them coming in here and playing video games. You're seeing esports on television now, you're seeing it on the major networks, you're seeing shows about it, you're starting to see it out in everyday life. I mean, you can pick up a cereal box and there's Overwatch on it or something like that. And so I think the community is starting to understand this is really serious. It's very different than playing video games in a basement or playing video games on your home TV, even down to the equipment that we use here.
When I first got to the point where I was like, I'm good at this, I need to keep playing and improving as much as I can. The system I was playing on was terrible. I had a lot of my game crashing. I ran at a really low frame rate. It was not a good experience from when I started to what I have here. It's the difference between night and day.
So our space is a mixture of two rooms, essentially. One room devoted mostly to our fighting games, League of Legends, Smite, and Paladins, and then another room that is split up between Call of Duty, Hearthstone, Rocket League, Overwatch, and CSGO. In each of those spaces, we have equipment that is necessary for those individual games. So 36 total PCs, 50 so devices in total between PlayStations, Nintendo Switches, and PCs. We have lighting, green screens, cameras, a streaming system, as well as 2 touchscreen monitors so that we can do video reviews and annotate directly on those. We've given the students essentially a playground so that they can learn and develop in many different aspects of esports, not simply just the playing, but also in streaming and casting, as well as making sure that they have the right equipment for each of the games that they play.
The League of Legends team, because it's a MOBA game, we all meet in the old room. So we would split into our teams and we would play online, and we would work with our coach who would go back and forth between our Discord calls to figure out what we need to work on, what we should look for, maybe plays we should start, and then we will look at the replay afterwards, and our coach will give us pointers on things to try.
So Call of Duty, our official practices are Mondays and Wednesdays, 4:30 to 6:30. And what we'll usually do is we'll start off by, going over VOD reviews of past practices or scrims against other teams, and we'll see what happens.
coming into college first and then adding a sport. You're like, well, how do I get all my classwork done, and how do I sleep, and when do I eat, and when do I study? That was definitely rough for a couple weeks, especially because of my course load. But I quickly found friends. I go to tutoring, go to study pods. Over the past years, they've had so many more kids come and want to play. So, and I think that's awesome. It's a place where kids can finally fit in, where we haven't really had, say in high school or middle school or other colleges, they haven't had a place to go. You're normally just playing with the 3 friends you know and the other people online you don't know.
My message to other schools, both college and high schools, is build an esports program. I think there's so many great outcomes. We've already seen so many great outcomes. We've had some great wins against some massive universities, the Penn State, University of North Carolina the other day, as well as being able to beat the #1 team in Hearthstone last year, Northeastern, which was great for us, got us a lot of recognition. They were supposed to beat us, so that was a good day for us. There isn't a D1, D2, D3 type mentality right now. Everyone's D1. Everyone's playing at the highest level possible, or at least they're trying to. We're able to compete against the biggest schools in the nation. So schools that their esports program has 1,600 students, and we're a school of under 2,000 students total. And so their club is basically the size of our college, and we're competing against them at a high level. But it's great for us to be able to one night be playing Boise State, and then the next night being able to play Penn State, Ohio State, and not to even think about them as bigger colleges than us. They're just competition. That's all they are. It gives us a really awesome opportunity to work with students who aren't in the traditional sports. Honestly, they're going home, they're playing, or in the college atmosphere, they're going back to their dorm room and they're playing these games anyway. If you can put coaches and mentors around that, it's just a better environment. And so if I'm a college or I'm a high school right now, I'm building a varsity esports program. It's just a must do. It's something that you have the ability to do right now. The environment is perfect for it. I would absolutely do it. I'm glad LVC did. It's the right choice for us.
There's so much good coming out of these collegiate esports programs: new curriculum, scholarships, friendly competition, and most of all, opportunities. Colleges around Philadelphia are paving the way for collegiate esports. I can't wait to see what other schools are going to hop on board. That's it for us today. I'm Marissa Magnotta with FTW Philly, and I'll see you next time.